Even though you've been following my journey for painting 30 days for a while now, I lied. I didn't do the 30-day challenge. I just want to be honest with you guys. I didn't do the 30-day challenge. Or well, technically I did, I just didn't do it at the same timeline as you guys, and I didn't do it every single day. So what happened is I kind of knew that these kind of challenges usually get to me, and after doing Coast Card in December, and that was like a smaller scale where you could do it indoors and it was just like a small Coast Card, I had trouble keeping up. So I kind of knew that this time I would have trouble as well. So I decided to start early. I started around March 20 something. The plan was to continue every day for 30 days and see how it would go. Okay, my forehead is just shining really brightly. It's a really hot day here in Hong Kong. I'll try to move my head around to avoid the flashes. Where was I? Yeah, so I started March 20th something, did it basically consecutively for maybe 10 something days before I felt really tired by it already by then. But by then it was already a third way through, so I just thought that I might as well continue the whole challenge. And I did share my struggles with you in real time, so I think after 10 days I kind of paused for 1 or 2 days before I continued on, and I trucked along. And then I thought that you could stack paintings, and I jumped on the Discord, and apparently you can't. So I am going to not enter the competition because I think it's only fair that the competition be joined by people who really adhere to the rules, and I didn't. I got a lot out of it already. I think the solidarity was something that I really gained, and the satisfaction of doing 30 paintings by the end of the month, which is 30th of April, and today is 28th of April. By the time this video goes live, it'll be past April. I do have 30 paintings currently that I did in the past month or so, and I'm pretty happy with it. The whole reason why I didn't decide to start on April 1st was because of my job. So I know this is not really an excuse. I know everyone who does Plein Airpril basically has their own constraints. Everyone has a job, has school, has some commitments that would prevent them from doing 30 days straight. I thought about it, waking up early before work to do it, but I just knew that with the nature of my job, it'll be really tricky. I'm a journalist, and it comes with a lot of really early morning or late night interviews, press conferences, some rush deadline, responding to some current events. Because I don't have a lot of control over my schedule when it comes to work, and work is my priority. Like, my priority is not sketching outside, it's work. It's what I'm paid to do, and it's what I want to commit to. Because I knew I wanted to continue committing to work, I knew that I couldn't put the same level of commitment to Plein Airpril. And that's why I decided to start early in order to give myself some buffer. Technically, I could wake up at like 6-7 a.m. to do Plein Airpril early and get that out of the way, but it was not a sacrifice that I wanted to make. Mainly because sketching takes a lot of energy out of me, and I wanted that primary energy in the very early morning to be dedicated to work and not to sketching. That was a choice that I made for myself, not saying that it's the right or the wrong choice, but following through on that choice meant that I couldn't sketch every day as dictated by the Plein Airpril rules. But that being said, I did learn a lot out of this 30-day challenge. The first being that I had to redefine what Plein Airpril meant to me. So I first started out with the whole easel and gouache paint thing. It was fun, and I just decided that it wasn't feasible to do it though for like 30 days straight, because I just wanted to make this challenge as easy for me as possible. So I did downscale a lot of the things. I went with a smaller sketchbook. I went with a lighter kit, which involved like a water brush and watercolors and a really tiny setup, but super portable, so I could do it whenever I found time in the middle of my day. It took a little bit of reflecting for me to accept that, this is my Plein Airpril, and it's totally okay that it doesn't look the same as everyone else. The next lesson that I learned was how to plan for such paintings. Even though I didn't do it for 30 days straight, it's still 30 different locations or 30 different scenes that I had to sort of define for myself. I could technically do like the same spot every day for 30 days if I wanted to, and that would be super convenient. But I knew it wouldn't be fun for me, and I wanted this whole process to be fun and enjoyable, and for me to explore and to sketch what I wanted to sketch. The last thing, which I think was really big revelation for me, was I learned what my style was. I came into this challenge thinking that I would have to do a warrior painter-esque painting, which is, blobs of gouache on like, not a really big surface, but on a semi-proper surface, which is an illustration board or something. it just took me a while to realize that I don't have to do that, and that's totally okay. And actually, I found my style because looking through my Instagram feed for my last 30 paintings, I could see that I developed a style. And the weird thing is, my pictures don't look very different from what they looked before this challenge. But maybe it's because everything happened in such a short interval amount of time. I was posting every day because sometimes I would paint and not post. So I probably don't even get to see all my sketches in one go. But yeah, I could see that it looks very similar to my other sketches. I guess that's my style. A little bit of ink, a lot of watercolor, a lot of color blocking. Maybe my color palette also shows through. Some people say like your color palette is a little bit like your personality. I can totally see it. Past 30 days of Plein Airpril, it was tough. I don't know if I'd do it again, but I'm glad to be on the journey with you guys. All right, now that we've done all that Plein Airpril blabbing, let's get to painting. I didn't have a lot of time to do this sketch, so I straight away went in with this brush, and I didn't even bother using the big one either because I just wanted to be in and out as quickly as possible. Such is squishing in a painting time slot when you have other commitments, but that is part of the challenge, right guys? So yeah, here I am starting with the background first, and I'm just trying to fill in all the elements, get rid of as much white as I can. I do also have to add that this was a very hot Hong Kong day. My water was just not flowing a lot out of this water brush, so I did have some trouble squishing the water out, but I knew that at the end, if I just kept tugging at it and putting the brush to paper, I would get something out of it. Here I'm trying to build up the front layers first to leave that middle space in for some additional foliage as well as the tree that is going to appear in the middle. At this point, I'm just dotting in the leaves, adding in some shading to the trees. You've probably seen me do this a million times, but I do notice that the shading of the tree is really, really dark compared to the light trunk. So I'm just trying to remedy that. And actually this trunk is what I will be struggling with the most in this sketch, because it just kept going over and over and over again. And it did end up getting bigger because every time I go over it, I do expand the size a little bit. That's what it is. I think I just tried to include too much of the tree trunk, and at the end of the day, I included a little bit too much. A spoiler alert, I do end up overworking this painting, but it's great that I've recorded this, because then I have a point where I'm like, oh, I should have stopped there, and that was beautiful, and now I notice it. This is the first time I'm ever using the Opera Gouache that's in my palette. So the paint itself in the palette, it's sitting a little bit cracked and dry because it doesn't have as much binder as watercolor does. It's not easily rewettable as watercolor. It doesn't dry as quote-unquote well as watercolor, but it's still rewettable, so you can still use it. So what I did was I just mixed it with a little bit of red tint in order to get the bright oranges that I see in the flowers. I realized the sketch was missing some bits, so I just decided to add some elements of the playground in the middle part of the painting, trying to use as little strokes as possible to illustrate all the different shapes in the playground. And this is me being super lazy, not wanting to get out my tissue, but I knew that the next thing I wanted to paint was yellow, so I have to clean my brush off no matter what. Here I am trying to carve out the sky again. It's really hard to do, and actually transfers really well on the screen. On the paper itself, you could definitely tell that it was a different shade, but at the same time, I'm the one who drew it, that's why I knew it's different. I think if you looked at it from afar, it wouldn't have caught your eye firsthand. But yeah, this is always an option. Get some white gouache, go over it, redo your mistakes, do it again and again, and figure out what works for you and what doesn't. We did it, y'all. 30 days of Plein Airpril. Woo! Oh my god. I honestly don't know if I would do that again. Probably not. I probably will partake in more casual sort of challenges when it comes to my art. Mainly because I want it to be enjoyable for me, and the pressure of doing it every day for 30 days was a bit too serious for my liking. No regrets. I mean, I'm totally glad I did it. Probably might end up doing it next year anyway. I am quite satisfied with myself because I did set a goal for me to do 30, and even though it wasn't every day, I did complete the challenge, albeit not in the rules that was set out by warrior painters. So again, not entering the competition, don't worry, but I'm just here to be, on the hype train. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this journey for 30 days. Let me know how you did it. My god, I'm just so in awe of every single person who partake in this challenge, no matter if you completed it or not. And we will go back to more casual sketching, which is still about 2 videos a week. That's the goal. I'm not thinking of breaking that streak at all. I'm just really happy that I did it. Now I'm just going to bask in, enjoy, probably not paint for a few days, and then just get back on it because I need to make another video. But that's that. I'm gonna go back to work now. So I've been Becky. You've been great. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.